Okay, I'm gonna do your home program. So I'm just gonna do the neck and the mid back. There's just gonna be a stretch and an exercise, 2 exercises for the neck, and a stretch and an exercise for the mid back. So it'll be really easy, really simple. And then if you need something for the low back, maybe I'll add that one in separate, but I'll at least have you start with this because I think it's always like your neck that you talk about that goes out. So this will at least keep it from continuously like going out and needing to keep going back to the chiropractors. So first one is stretching the scalenes here in the front. So like everything that we do is like in front, like everything that you're doing, like patients, your kids, like everything, our phones, like everything is in front of us. So all the muscles here get tight. So looking up and then off to one side. And I should do. So if you want to intensify it, you can put the arm like behind you to intensify it, but you're gonna look up and then off to one side. And if you put that same side arm behind you, that's gonna like make it more intense, which you don't need to do. To start, you can just leave it in your lap to start. You want to do it where it's a stretch that you can hold for a minute. And I say a minute because it's a minimum of 30 seconds. But if I tell people 30 seconds, they only hold it 15 seconds, so they don't hold it long enough. So you do one side, and then you do the other side. And you should feel a nice stretch through here. So if I tell people a minute, at least they're gonna get 30 seconds. So hold it for a minute. And then, okay, now for the strengthening. So you have your erector muscles on each side of the spine. Those are going to be the first ones that we're targeting. So we stretched out the front, and now we want to strengthen the muscles in back to help bring our head back. So this one you can even do like, I do it down on the floor, but you can do it like in the car while you're driving. Eventually working up to doing it like against gravity, but this is just like the easy way to start. So placing one hand on each side of the spine so that you can feel if you're kicking those muscles on, like turning them on or not. And then you're pushing back into the ground. So I'm pushing back with like my head into the ground, and I can feel those muscles here on each side of the spine turning on. And you want to hold it for like 10 to 15 seconds as long as they're still on. If they turn off, then just relax and then try it again and do it like 3 times. So you're here and then you're pushing back. And then the next one that you want to do is for the deep neck flexors. So instead of using these really big neck flexor muscles here in the front, we want to use some smaller ones that exist along the spine that are really, really deep. So when you do this one, you should feel it like deep in your gullet, like deep in here. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to just start with it behind the neck and slide it up to the back of the head. The purpose there is so that you know how far off the ground to keep your head. You really only want to keep your head like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the hand out. And now I'm holding up my head, keeping my chin tucked, so keeping that double chin. So when I come here and slide my hand up, it gives myself that double chin. And that's the double chin that you want to keep for this exercise. So you're sliding the hand out, and the whole purpose of the hand is to see like you should barely be able to slide it back under. Because what a lot of times people do is because these muscles are so weak, they go like this and they're like, oh, that's easy, I can do that. But now you've got all these big ones kicked on, and those are not the ones you want on. So, I mean, it still feels like I can still feel my hair on the back of the ground with doing this one. So you're just coming here, sliding it up to give yourself that double chin. And then same, start with like a 10 to 15 second hold. Like I can still feel my head, my hair like on the back of the ground without it resting. And then relax and do that one 3 times. And then we'll do the mid-back stuff. Okay, for the mid-back, we are stretching the pecs. So again, same. So much of like your work, so much of just what we do in life in general, you don't spend much time at the computer. People that spend a lot of time at the computer, but like you with your girls, like everything you're doing is in front of you. Everything that you're doing with all of your patients, it's all in front of you. So first thing we want to do before we do the exercise is stretching out our pecs. So you're going to come in a doorway. You're going to put forearm on each side of the doorway. You can play around with it and you'll get different parts of the pecs. If you have your arms more up, arms more down, you can play around with it and same, do what feels good, do what feels like you get a good stretch. You could do like 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here. And then you're going to stagger one foot in front of the other and lean into that stretch. And you'll feel it across the chest, maybe down into the arms. You can play around with the angle. Aim for a minute. That way you're at least getting the 30 seconds, but minute is best. Reason for minimum 30 seconds is that anything less than 30 seconds, the muscle just stays in the elastic phase where the stretch is good, but it's temporary. It doesn't last. When you go over the 30 seconds, that changes and makes it into a plastic change. So you're actually permanently lengthening the muscle. And then I will show you the last exercise. Okay, so this is going to be the one where you want the resistance band. So you're going to hold the resistance band in between your two hands. Elbows are going to stay at your side. And then you're pulling the resistance band apart. Trick, you're not arching your back. So core is going to stay nice and tucked. You're not just moving the arms. What you're going to be doing is actually squeezing here in between the shoulder blades, sticking your chest out. So arms are going to stay pinned at your side, core is going to stay tight, and you're squeezing your shoulder blades down and back together. So you want to make sure you're not shrugging up when you're squeezing them down and back together. You might even get some pops with this. This is going to hold that new position after we just stretched out the pecs. And you're holding, you don't have to hold this one for very long. I would say do more like 10 to 15 of these instead of holding it for longer. This one you want to do more for strengthening. So you're here, core stays tight, and you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, sticking your chest, sticking the girls out. And then do these like 3 to 5 times a week. There's really, like, you can't, they're small enough muscles, you can't do it like too much. There's no such thing as doing it like too much unless you're sore. Give yourself like a day off in between to do it. So aim for like 3 to 5 times a week with a day off in between. And ultimately that will create better posture and then strength in those postural muscles and the ones that support your spine so that you don't just keep coming out and having to be adjusted. Let me know how it goes.